Okay, check this out. Look at this. Axiom-Man, Auroraman, Frozen Storm. 2 editions. Paperback, hardcover. We're going to talk about the hardcover towards the end because it's very, very special. But I'll show you the paperback to start. So, Auroraman is not my character. Auroraman is created by Jeff Burton, who lives in Humboldt, Saskatchewan, which is 1 province over from me. He's probably, I don't know, 8-ish, 9-ish hour drive away. I've met him a few times, and of course we've talked on the phone. And this was a Kickstarter project that he and I did. We're both proud to be Canadian superhero creators, and he's done a lot of work with Auroraman in terms of Auroraman comics. And I decided I thought it'd be fun to bring Auroraman to prose format, text. And so I called up Jeff, or sent him a text, one of the two, and said, hey man, like, do you want to team up our characters? We could launch a Kickstarter for it. Here's some ideas as to how we can go about it. And we had a conversation on the phone, and together we talked and wrote the story, not the novel part of it, but just the story, the what it's about. So we wrote the what it's about together, and then once we settled on that story, this is going to happen, maybe some of this, a little bit of that, ended off like this. Once we had our story, then I hit the keyboard and I wrote this novella called Axiom-Man and Auroraman, Frozen Storm, A.P. Fuchs with Jeff Burton. And as always, Justin Schaff did the art for the cover, the pencils and inks, because he's really good Axiom-Man artist. He also did, I'll get into that in a second. And then for the colors on the cover, Donovan Yasiuk did it. And Donovan's done a ton of stuff for, like, he's big on Captain Canuck right now. Actually, he's doing some work for them. I can't remember the name of the studio that produces Captain Canuck off the top of my head. I should know this, but I don't. Anyway, he's doing work for them. He did the colors. It's great. And in regards to Justin doing the art, see, this was part of the Kickstarter. So what we did, Jeff and I, is he was releasing a super special of Auroraman. And at the end of Auroraman, I wrote a 6-page prologue, comic script prologue, that Justin drew that leads into Frozen Storm. And the prologue, again, it's just a 6-page comic strip. It does what it needs to do in terms of getting things set up for the events in here. And this is the synopsis. Worlds collide when Axiom-Man finds himself sucked into a portal that leads to another world. A world with its own unique guardian, Auroraman. Also, something else came through the portal. Something dark, something sinister, something frozen. Now Axiom-Man and Auroraman must join forces before this cold, evil being transforms not just Humboldt into a kingdom of ice, but the whole world as well. From frosty footsoldiers to dedicated icy leaders to a deadly cold master pulling all the strings, Frozen Storm is a novella you won't want to miss. And there it is. And these two heroes meet each other, and I got to explore that dynamic too. I mean, if you're familiar with the Axiom-Man saga, you know that he knows that every other superpowered being is a bad guy. So when he encounters Auroraman, who has special abilities, of course he's going to be very, very skeptical, because his own experience teaches him that if you have powers, you're a bad person. Which sounds kind of actually vain on Axiom-Man's part, because he's thinking, well, I have powers, I'm a good person. And then, it's... So there's that kind of aspect of the relationship explored. And then, of course, we got a crazy, icy villain who comes along and really, really, really makes a mess of things and freezes a lot of things, too. And so what we did as part of the Kickstarter, aside from the comic book, which has 3D glasses, by the way, so there's 3D comics, and this book, which you can get as a package, we created this. This is Axiom-Man, Auroraman, Frozen Storm, special hardcover edition. What does it make it special? A few things. One, different cover art, front and back. Two, hardcover. Three, it doesn't have a dust jacket. It's completely gloss laminate. So it's just, the cover itself is nice and thick, one piece. It has the same story, of course, that's in here. But what makes it a collectible is there's only 26 copies of this in existence. This is what's called a lettered edition. A lettered edition means that it's just that. There's 26 copies of a lettered edition, one for each letter of the alphabet. Each of these books, I'm trying to turn carefully to the page without cracking the spine here. Each of these books come signed by both Jeff and I, as you can see. And then also you could see it says this book is letter, in this case it's M. And there's only 26. Every other book, this is book letter A, this is book B, this is book C, and so on. And so, yeah, that's what makes it special, is it only exists in this format, 26 copies only. That's why it's a pricier book to buy. I mean, it's 50 bucks. It's expensive, I know. But at the same time, you have to bear in mind there's only 26 copies of this period. And that's it. And there's a few left over for sale. And once they're gone, they're gone. So people in the Kickstarter, they ordered this too as well. So we got copies out there. People got their collector's copies. And if you're a superhero collector, especially a superhero fiction collector, then yeah, I would definitely consider checking this out and grabbing yourself this special edition. And then, of course, if you like just the regular paperback, then this is available as well. And of course, like all books in the Axiom-Man series, they are available in ebook at your favorite online retailer, and you can read the book that way. But I definitely would recommend checking out the special edition hardcover, because I mean, it's signed by Jeff and I. That the logistics that were involved with that, because we live in different provinces, and we didn't want to put like book plate stickers in there, you know, even though that would have been much cheaper mailing wise. We wanted the signatures on the actual book itself, as if the reader had come up to both of us at a convention or a signing or something and said, "Here, can you please sign this?" So that's why we did it that way. But yeah, check it out. If you want to see superheroes fight an icy villain, then check out Axiom-Man, Auroraman, Frozen Storm. And then one last note regarding this and how it relates to the Axiom-Man saga as a whole. This is what I would call a side adventure. So it's not part of the main narrative, but it is considered part of the storyline in terms of Axiom-Man's experience as a superhero. So there's a side adventure that. And then it's also his first team up, which is cool. And then lastly, there's another team up that I wrote, Axiom-Man and another character. But I'm not going to reveal anything because I'm not 100% sure what the publication plans are for it. It might wind up in a special anthology series, or it might wind up as a standalone thing like the Frozen Storm book. I'm not sure yet. I need to discuss it with the other creator, but that is something to look out for in terms of Axiom-Man team-ups. But that concludes our spotlight on Axiom-Man, Auroraman, Frozen Storm. Get your copy and meet these two awesome Canadian heroes. Peace.